Welcome to Readers Theatre Club, and we have our three eminent members here. To start with Tracy, the leader here, and then Ekaterina and Grace, our very own Grace. So I'm Nilanjana from India, and today we have decided that we will read a poem by the famous romantic poet John Keats. Okay, shall we begin? Yes? Yes?
Yes.
All right, okay. Can you all see the screen here?
Yes.
Yeah? All right. In order to understand Eve of St. Agnes, it's very important that we understand what romantic poetry is. Romantic poetry is not about romance. Okay? So during the 18th century, there was an upsurge of these poets who wanted to express their sentiments, emotions, relations. They wanted to talk about nature. Whereas the old form of poetry, the classical poetry, was mainly about God and nothing beyond God. And to be an individual and express emotions and feelings was considered to be blasphemous. All right. So there was this group of poets who decided to revolt against this kind of poetry, classical poetry. And that's how they came to be known as the Romantic poets. So with Romanticism came individualism, right? All right. Now, Eve of St. Agnes is a 42 stanza long narrative poem. Okay. You find the language a little difficult because it's written in the Middle Ages. So, but there's no harm in trying, and that's what the theater club is all about, to get accustomed. It's about variety that we serve out here, right? So today, as we decided, Eve of St. Agnes, it was believed that on Eve of St. Agnes, if young girls, perform certain rites, they would have vision of their future husband. Okay, so this was very famous. So now what happens in Eve of St. Agnes is that there's this main character, Mandeline. Okay, so she's the beauty out here, our heroine, the main character here, and she's on her way to observe these rites, and perfero, her lover, he enters the castle. And the other knights, they considered perfero as enemy. So he was regarded as enemy. So he was to be killed at the very first sight. So with the help of Angela, yes, the old nurse of Mandeline, he sneaks into the castle, goes to her bedroom, and when Angelina tells her that, she's performing the rites so that she can have the vision of her future husband, perfero gets an idea to make her dream come true because he was actually present there in her room. And so it's a cold, chilly night. Start with the beadsman, okay? So, and slowly we get into the narrative, how the things progress. And at the end, we have a happy ending, kind of, because Madeline and perfero, they elope to have a beautiful life together, all right? But unfortunately, the old nurse, that is Angela, and the beadsman, both of them die. Okay, so shall we begin? Yes. So this was the prayer. Agnes, sweet Agnes fair, hither, hither now repair. Bonny Agnes, let me see the lad who is to marry me. Okay, so that's how they would get the vision. So the first stanza, shall we begin with Tracy?
Sure.
Yeah. Second, Ekaterina. Yeah.
I'll try, but it's rather difficult for me.
Let us try. Let's try. Let's see how we proceed, right? And third, Grace. Grace has her face is beaming. I can see that. And fourth, myself. And then again, we take turns. Tracy, Katerina, Grace, and me, and see how we progress.
Mustafa is here.
Mustafa is here?
Mustafa is here. So maybe
the fourth stanza.
She might want to try after Grace.
Yes. 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 All right.
All right.
Okay. Okay, so here we begin with the Eve of St. Agnes by John Keats.
Saint Agnes Eve. Ah, bitter chill it was. The owl, for all its feathers, was a cold. The hare limped trembling through the frozen grass, and silent was the flock in woolly fold. Numb were the beadsman's fingers while he told his rosary, and while his frosted breath, like pious incense from a censer old, seemed taking flight for heaven, without a death, past the sweet Virgin's picture, while his prayer saith.
Here, sweet virgin is St. Agnes. Okay? All right. Yes.
His prayer, he said, this patient holy man, then takes his lamp and riseth from his knees, and back returneth, barefoot when, along the chapel aisle by slow degrees. The sculptured dead on each side seem to freeze, imprisoned in black purgatorial rails. Knights, ladies, praying in dumb oratories. He passeth by, and his weak spirit fails, to think how they may ache in icy hoods and mails.
Beautiful. Yes.
Oh.
Grace?
Northward, he turned through a little door, and scarce 3 steps, ere music's golden tongue flattered to tear this aged man and poor. But no, already he had death bell rung. The joy of all his life was said and sung. He was harsh, tenors on St. Agnes' Eve. Another way he went, and soon among rough ashes sat he for his soul reprieve, and all night knelt out for sinners' sake to grieve.
Mustafa?
Mustafa, do you want to read?
That ancient bedesman heard the bird soft, and so it chanced, for many a door was wide, from Harry to and fro soon aloft. The silver snarling trumpet gan to chide the level chamber, ready with their prize, were glowing to receive 1,000 guests, the carved angels ever eager-eyed.
Mustafa,
Stars were upon their heads, the cornice rested, with hair blown back and wings put crosswise on their breasts.
Who's next? There is another member I can see here.
I can't see. I'm looking at your screen. I just.
Okay. So honor.
Okay. I'm in the. Okay. Coordinate. Okay. I would just let this person listen and observe.
Okay.
Okay.
So Tracy, it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn already. Okay. At length burst in the argent reveille, the plume, tiara, and all rich array. Numerous as shadows flaunting fairly, the brain new stuffed in youth with triumphs gay of old romance. These let us wish away and turn, so thoughted, to one lady there, whose heart had brooded, and all that wintry day on love and winged St. Agnes' saintly care, as she had heard old dames full many times declare.
They told her how upon St. Agnes' Eve young virgins might have visions of delight, and soft adorings from their loves receive, upon the honeyed middle of the night. If ceremonies due, they did all right. As supplies to bed they must retire, and couch supine their beauties lily white, no look behind, no sideways, but require of heaven, with upward eyes for all that they desire.
Full of this whim was thoughtful Madeleine, the music yearning like a god in pain. She scarcely heard her maiden eye divine, fixed on the floor, saw many a weeping train. Passed by, she heeded not at all in vain. Came now in tiptoe, amorous cavalier, and back retired, not cold by high disdain. But she saw not, her heart was overwhelmed. She sighed for Agnes' dream, the sweetest of the year.
He danced along with Vigor, regardless eyes, anxious her lips, her breathing quick and short. The hallowed hour was near at hand. She sighed amid the timbrel and the thronged resort of whisperers in anger or in sport, mid looks of love, defiance, hate, and scorn, hoodwinked with fairy fancy all more, save to spirit agency and her lamps unshorn, and all the bliss to be before tomorrow moon.
Tracy?
And Nilanjana, why aren't you reading anything?
Okay, so all right.
Yes.
After Mustafa, then I'll read. All right.
Okay.
I think it would be great.
All right. So, purposing each moment to retire, she lingered still. Meantime, across the moors had come young perfero with heart on fire for Madeline. Besides the portal doors, buttressed from moonlight, stands he and implores all saints to give him sight of Madeline. But for one moment in the tedious hours, that he might gaze and worship all unseen, perchance speak, kneel, touch, kiss, in sooth such things have been.
He ventures in, that no buzzed whisper tell, all eyes be muffled, or 100 swords will storm his heart. Love's feverish citadel, for him those chambers held barbarian hordes, hyena foremen and hot-blooded lords, whose very dogs would excrement howl against his lineage. Not one breast affords him any mercy in that mansion foul, save one old beldam, weak in body and in soul.
Happy chance. The aged creature came, shuffling along the ivory-headed wand, to where he stood, hid from the torch's flame, behind a broad half-pillar far beyond. The sound of merriment and chorus bland, he startled her, but soon she knew his face, and grasped his fingers in her palsied hand, saying, "Mercy, perfero, hie thee from this place. They are all here tonight, the whole bloodthirsty race."
Get here, get here. Get here, get here. There's thou wolfish Hildbrand. He had a fever late, and in defeat he crossed die and time, both house and land. Then there's that old Lord Maurice, not a whit more tame for his grey hair. Alas me, flirt like a ghost away. Ah, gossip, dear, we're safe enough. Here in this armchair sit, and tell me how Good saint, not here, not here. Follow me, child, or else these stones will be thy bare.
So here comes Angela, and she's really scared that they are going to kill poor Pharaoh. So she tells him that do not make noise, make haste, and come along with me. All right. Now, Pharaoh follows Angela. Yes, Mustafa?
He followed through a lowly arched way, brushing the cobweb with his lofty plumb. And as she muttered, well, a day, he found him in a little moonlight room, pale, lighted, chill, and silent as a tomb. Now tell me, where is Madeline? Said he. Oh, tell me, Angela, by the holy room, which none but sacred sisterhood may see when they that agency wall are waving boldly.
Rihanna, you would like to read next?
What?
Rihanna, you would like to read next?
Which step?
Yeah,
From
here,
here?
from here.
S
From
T
here,
N.
Rihanna, from here.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay. ST is it ST engine? It's yet men will murder about holidays. Thou must hold water in a which safe, and he and be pleased Lord of all the cliffs and face. To venture so, it amaze. To see the profero ST engines it. God's help. My lady fear the
Conjurer.
conjurer place. Good angels had deceived, but let me laugh a while, have mickle time to breathe. And then
Nadia, Nadia, you're here. Would you like to read? Okay, Tracy, would you like to continue?
And you, Nilanjana?
Okay. I'm sorry. Will you just do it? I was trying to with Nadia.
Okay.
Feebly? Feebly she laughed in the languid mood. Horse yell upon her face doth look like puzzled urchin on an aged crone, who keepeth close a one little book. Speckled a chimney nook. But soon her eyes grew brilliant when she told his lady's purpose, and he scarce could brook tears at the thought of those enchantments cold, and Madeline asleep in the lap of legends old.
Yes.
And Nilanjana, you wouldn't like to read it?
Okay, I'll read. Sudden a thought came like a full-blown rose, flushing his brow and his fainted heart. Made purple riot, then doth he purpose a stratagem that makes the building start. A cruel man and impious thou art. Sweet lady, let her pray, and sleep, and dream, alone with her good angels, far apart from wicked men like thee. Go, go, I deem thou canst not surely be the same that thou didst seem. Here, Angela is telling Pharaoh that she's observing a holy rite before on the eve of St. Agnes. And as Pharaoh approaches Madeline, goes near to her, Angela gets scared that he's going to break the rite, the rituals. So she asks Pharaoh to leave immediately. So now, Ekaterina, now Pharaoh replies.
I will not harm her, by all saints I swear, quoth perfero, or may I never find grace, when my weak voice shall whisper its last prayer, if one of her soft wrinkles I displace, or look with ruffian's passion in her face, Good Angela, believe me by these tears, or I will even in a moment's space awake with horrid shout my foeman's ears, and beard though they be more fanged than wolves and bears.
Mm.
Ah, why wast thou affright, a feeble soul, a poor, weak, palsy-stricken churchyard thing, whose passing bell may air the midnight toll, whose prayers for thee each morn and evening were never missed. Thus, planning thou she brings a gentler speech from burning Pope
Or Pharaoh.
fire, so woeful and of such deep sorrowing. And Angela gives promises she will do whatever he shall wish, betide her wear or woe.
which was to lead him in close secrecy, even to Madeline's chamber, and there hide him in a closet of such privacy that he might see her beauty unspied, and win perhaps that night a peerless bride, while legend feared because the coverlet and pale enchantment held her sleepy eyes. Never on such a night have a lover met, since Merlin bade his demon all the ministers did.
Death.
Shall I?
Rihanna?
Yes. As thou wittest, said the Dane, all Keats, and then Dane feast shall be stored here, quickly on this feast night, by the desert friend. Her own Lord thou will see, no time to spare, for I am sure and feeble and scarce here. Oh, on such a catering trust my busy way, but here, my child, patience kneel in prayer. Define, ah, thou must needs the lady wed, or may I never leave my gate upon the day. Shall I continue?
No, Tracy?
So
Okay.
saying, she hobbled off with busy fear. The lover's endless minutes slowly passed. The dame returned and whispered in his ear to follow her, with aged eyes aghast from fear of dim espial. Safe at last, through many a dusky gallery, they gained the maiden's chamber, silken, hushed, and chaste. But Porphyro took covert, pleased amain, his poor guide hurried back with argues in her brain.
Her flattering hand upon the balustrade. Old Angela was feeling for the stair when Madeline, St. Agnes' charmed maid, rose like a mission spirit, unaware. With silver tapers light and pious care, she turned and down the aged gossip wed to a safe level matting. Now prepare, young Pharaoh, for gazing on that bed. She comes again, like a reindeer frayed and fled.
Out went the taper as she hurried in. Its little smoke, in pallid moonshine died. She closed the door, she panted, all akin to spirits of the air and visions wide. No uttered syllable or woe betide, but to her heart was voluble, paining with eloquence her balmy side, as though a tongueless nightingale should swell her throat in vain and die heart-stifted in her dell.
A casement and A casement high and triple arch there was, all garlanded with carven imageries of fruits and flowers and bunches of nut grass, and diamonds with not grass, and diamonded with pans of quaint device, innumerable of stains and splendid days, as are the tigers, and are the tiger moth deep darkest wind, and in the midst among thousand heraldies and twilight scene and twilight scene and dim
emblazonings.
Emblazonings, a shielded scutcheon blast with blood of queen and kings.
Full on this casement shone the wintry moon, and threw warm gulls on Madeline's fair breast. As down she knelt for heaven's grace and boon, rose bloom fell on her hands together pressed, and on her silver cross of amethyst, and on her hair a glory like a saint. She seemed as a splendid angel newly dressed, save wings for heaven, profirographen. She knelt so pure, a thing so free from mortal taint.
Anon his heart divides, her whisper dance. Of all its built pearls her hair she frees, unclaps her warm jewels one by one, loosens her pregnant bodies by degrees. Her rich attire fits rusted to her knees, half hidden like a mermaid in seaweed. Pensive while she dreams her work and sees infancy, fear exchanges in her beat. But dares not look behind, or all that stand is great.
Tracy, you're mute. You're mute.
Thank you. Soon, trembling in her soft and chilly nest in sort of wakeful swoon, perplexed she lay, until the poppeth warmth of sleep oppressed her smooth limbs, and soul fatigued away, flown like a thought until the morrow day, blissfully haven't both from joy and pain, clasped like a missile wearer, pray, blinded alike from sunshine and from rain, as though a rose should shut and be a bud again.
Stolen to this paradise, and so entranced, Perfero gazed upon her empty dress, and listened to her breathing, if it chanced to wake into a slumberous tenderness, which when he heard, that minute did he bless, and breathed himself, then from the closet crept, noiseless as fear in a wide wilderness. So where's Nilanjana? You're on mute.
I know. She fell off, huh? Okay, so we'll have to wait till she comes back. Something must have
She
happened.
go outside the room.
Something must have happened with her internet. Okay, so